Hey everyone, welcome back to another Earth to Mama vlog. This week I want to talk about something that I think everyone can benefit from. In fact, science has actually done some research and has now shown and proven that it can benefit everyone, no matter your age, race, gender, socioeconomic background, financial status. Everyone can benefit from self-care, especially in the day and age we're in, where we're still in the midst of a pandemic, and self-care has kind of fallen on the back burner with everything that everyone has going on. But like I said, everyone can benefit from having a self-care plan. So I thought I would talk about the 6 areas of self-care that people should really focus on, because science has done so much research on it that it's shown that there are 6 different areas of self-care that we can practice in order to improve our well-being, our happiness, our health, you name it. So I thought I would go over my self-care plan as a bit of a guide for you. It is just a guide though, they're just suggestions. I highly suggest that you find what works best for you and incorporate that into your self-care plan, so you are easier able to stick to it every day and can see the benefits over time. So like I said, this can be for anyone, no matter who you are, and try to make it your own so it's something that doesn't feel more of a task and it feels good. So the first area of self-care is physical, which is our bodies. It includes things like diet, what you eat, your nutrition, to exercise and movement. And like I said, find what works for you, but what works for me is 5 days a week, I do 30 minutes of exercise, whether that's functional strength training or cardio or yoga or Pilates or dance. I really love to dance. For me, it feels like a fun way of working out, that I'm not really staring at the clock the whole time waiting for the workout to be over. So that just goes to show the benefits of finding something that works for you, because it makes it feel less like a task that has to get done, and it's more enjoyable, and you feel better once you do have it done. For nutrition, I have always said that I'm not the healthiest person, because I'm not. I do try and find ways to incorporate healthy things into my diet, whether that's like having a juice, like the juices that you put like the vegetable into the grinder machine and it comes out. I also take some supplements like turmeric. It's really good for your stomach and so many other things. I also take a multivitamin once a day. And I keep it in this little thing here because I'm the type of person where if I had my pills like up in the cabinet, I wouldn't remember to take it. So I have this thing sitting around on the counter, and I know that if there's still a pill left in that day, then I still have to take that day's. Yeah, so like I said, find what works for you. For me, that's what's been the best for me for the past couple of years. I've been able to stick to that. Once you are sticking to something for a while, I find that it's easier to then incorporate more. So I first started focusing on exercise and movement and getting my body to stay active, and then I incorporated the supplements when I knew I was able to stay on top of my workouts. So the second area of self-care is psychological, which is your mental area. And that can be anything from therapy to journaling to walks in nature to podcasts. You name it, kind of. Like I said, the point is to find what works for you. For me, I have found what helps me psychologically is I have 2 different journals that I do. One is a gratitude journal, and I write down, go to a page that's not written in, 5 things each day that I'm grateful for, and then this part is 10 things, 10 goals that I want to accomplish in the next 10 years. So I write them down as if they've already happened. And then the one that I'm going to work on currently next, that's going to help me reach all of these. So every day I do this journal, and I also do my self-care planner. Again, I'll try to go somewhere that's not written in. So in this one, I write every day one thing that I'm grateful for, and I try to keep this something different than what I write in my gratitude journal, because not that hard to think of 6 things that I'm grateful for each day when I really sit down and think about it. I write down my top goal for the day, my schedule that I'll lay out as a bit of a planner, hence the title planner, any important to-do tasks that I have to do. Right here, it even has a section for writing down what I did for any self-care work, how much water I drank. I always do pretty poorly on this. I can put breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then exercise. So this is also where I log my daily exercise unless it's the weekend, and then I'll just put NA. It also has a monthly review at the end of each month that asks questions about how you did in certain areas of your life and gives you places to reflect on and lets you see what you need to work on based on how you did that month for next month. It also has monthly intentions that you set for the next month in each of these areas, which is what you then reflect on at the end of the month. So it's a really great way to not only keep on top of my gratitude that is really important to me, but also keep track of what happens kind of each and every day as I'm doing it. I also have this one more section where for each week, you write the week of, and then you write any personal to-dos for the whole week, any work to-dos for the week, and then each day you also keep track of your hours that you slept each night and your overall mood during the day. And then I've written down habits that I want to stay on track of, and then you mark down if you stay on track of them throughout the week, and your reward if you do well. This is from the Simple Self company. I'll link it down below. It's a great self-care planner, especially if you're new and are having a hard time staying on top of your self-care. That's for you. But like I said, find what works for you. The third area of self-care is emotional, which is feelings, emotions, hence the title. Ways to practice self-care in this is journaling, again, finding a hobby that you love. So I also have a daily journal that I sometimes try to write in, especially if days are going hard. I'll write what happened that day and kind of reflect on it and how I can move forward from that. But I also have many, many hobbies, from art to macrame to those are actually my top 2 right now. This is a paint by number that I've done. I've done another one somewhat small like this version, and I've also done one that's like a 16 by 20 canvas. I make handmade macrames that I also sell on my company website, Earth to Mama. I recently, my husband made me some nail art, nail string art, if you know what that is. I love finding ways to use my hands and somewhat focus on a task for a while is really fun for me and is really therapeutic and a way for me to just kind of forget about things that are going on and focus on something that makes me happy. Again, find what works for you. You can reflect in nature. You can talk to a therapist. It's which I also go to as well once a week, and I've found that extremely helpful in the past few years that I've gone to a therapist to talk about things that are hard to talk about with others, and also to discover things about myself that I might not have learned on my own. So, moving right along, the next area of self-care, the fourth area, is spiritual, which can mean different things for different people. If you're religious, it tends to be things related to church, and that type of community of giving back. If you're non-religious, it can be anything from reading books or doing something in nature, meditating, yoga. Like I said, find what works for you. What I have found works for me is anything that has to do with nature. I love spending time in nature. I love appreciating it, especially anything that has to do with the sun. Sunlight gives me energy and motivation, and I feel like just brings me life. So anytime the sun is out, I love being outside in the sun and soaking it up. I also love reading. I try to read a book a month, if you don't already know this about me. A couple of the past books I've read are The Happiness Hypothesis, which was a really great book about learning about how to be happy using age-old wisdom that's been around for years and using modern views to look at it and somewhat of a more realistic approach, because in case you don't know, also humans also have a negativity bias where we just tend to be more negative than positive. So that was a really great read for me. Another book I just read was Keep Moving. Really short. I loved this one just because it's really short excerpts, just motivating, inspiring words. Every once in a while, there are pages like this that actually tells a story, and it's just another therapeutic thing for me, sort of like my hobbies, and it just kind of helps me escape for a little bit as well as learn. I love self-development, self-growth books, so I also love learning as well as kind of getting in a relaxation state. This is the book that I'm currently reading, The 5 Love Languages. It was actually recommended a while ago by someone, but this actually is being borrowed, someone I know is letting me borrow this. And it actually is really interesting. It talks about the 5 different ways that people speak love and how the way you speak love may not be the way someone else speaks love, and learning how to speak the love language of your significant other, child, whatever it may be. It's a great read. So, moving right along again. The next area of self-care, the 5th area, is relationships. This can be whether it's your significant other, a family, a friend, a work acquaintance, any type of relationship you may have. They actually are very important to us as human beings to have. We are creatures of connection, and we love being able to bond and create connections with many different people. So this is somewhat of a two-parter. If you want to work on your relationships that you already have, there's plenty of ways to do it. You can attend events, you can talk to life coaches, you can, again, read some more books. There's also this thing that my husband and I got when we were engaged called the Adventure Challenge. And it's little challenges that you scratch and peel based off of a little bit of information that it gives you. And then you would scratch and get directions and why you're doing it. You take a picture of yourself, a little Polaroid, and then you would put the picture here and write about your experience here. A couple of the ones we've done. And so yeah, you get the little directions, it tells you what to do. You write down, you know, what you loved about it, how you felt, and you take a little picture of yourself. And so it's really fun activities, interesting things to do. And it has sections that you can go based off of. They have sections that are, you know, if you are tight on money, they have cheap dates, ideas. So yeah, it's a great way to kind of just spice things up and spend more time with your significant other. They also have a friend edition, a family edition. So it's a great way to kind of foster the relationships you already do have. If you are looking to find relationships, like friendships, something that I'm actually looking to expand is trying to find more friends, which is really hard to do when you're in your 20s. And so there are ways to do it, reaching out to old friends that you haven't talked to in a while, going out to lunch, coffee, going on a walk. There's even apps now, especially with the pandemic going on and having more people kind of having to social distance and be isolated is really hard. So there are apps out there now that are actually trying to help people find connections and find friends nearby to either meet up occasionally or on a consistent basis to actually develop friendships with. And that's something I'm looking into. So I'll actually give you an update on that further down the road because that's somewhat still of a new thing for me, but it's something I'm excited to try. So like I said, it's all of these areas of self-care are based on what feels right to you and something that's a little bit outside your comfort zone, but not so much that it feels daunting to do or that it kind of keeps you from doing it. And so the last area of self-care, believe it or not, is your professional area, which is your work life. Again, no matter what you do, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're the CEO of a huge company, whether you work a 9 to 5 or 12 to 8 or whatever it may be, your professional life can affect your well-being, your health, your happiness, you name it. And so it's important to find ways that you can, like I said, ways that work for you, improve or at least work on your professional life, whether it be finding a peer support group. Again, stay-at-home moms a lot of the time are stuck at home alone by themselves and they can't really reach out to people at an organization or a job that others might be able to. And so more and more groups are popping up, support groups, where people meet like-minded people going through the same thing and are there to support each other. Again, even meet up in real life if need be. If you have a real job, and you have someone that you work with that you really enjoy working with and can see yourself having a friendship or connection with outside of work, try fostering that relationship. And if you're not happy in your career or job path, that can actually affect your well-being as well. And so if you're not able to necessarily change careers or change job paths right away, perhaps looking into a hobby that's focused around something that you love and perhaps would want to pursue down the road, and turning it into a side hobby, a side job, side hustle that maybe you kind of focus on sometimes, that maybe you can pursue and turn that into a career down the line. And if you're the type of person who has no idea what you want to do still, which is completely common and it happens to a lot of people, there are lots of ways out there to try and help you with that, whether it be personality tests, career workshops. We even have this thing in our town. We used to have a thing called One Stop, and now we have another program that sort of helps people struggling to find jobs find careers in industries that are suited to their skills and strengths, and also can help you find internships or temporary placements if you're in desperate need of a job and an income, and also provide you with ways to find income while you're waiting. That also gives you a chance to find not like-minded people, but people in similar situations as you, where it can feel not so alone and not so daunting knowing that other people are going through the same thing as you, which can also raise your well-being. Even if you're still feeling stuck on the path and not where you want to be yet, you can still feel better knowing that you're not alone, basically. So these, again, like I said, are just suggestions. It's just a guide. These are things that I've implemented into my self-care plan that I'm trying to work on every single day. And it can be from the smallest thing, like making your bed every day, to making sure to wash your face every night, to calling a friend once a week, to whatever it is you can think of and feels right for you, that's going to improve your health, your happiness, and your well-being in the long run. So if you have an idea for next week's vlog, please leave it below in the comments. I'd love to address any topics that you guys are interested in. Thank you so much for staying tuned for another vlog. I really appreciate you guys being here. Like I always say, I wouldn't be where I am without you. Earth to Mama wouldn't be where it is without you. And the world truly wouldn't be where it is without you. So thank you for being you, and thank you for being part of this community and being unapologetically yourselves. And I will see you next time.